Hello everyone, I'm Rafael Benavent, and today I will show you my journal of author, my final project for the Artistic Creation and Investigation Workshop subject. I decided to do my creation using what was most important for me in this subject, and they were the weekly drawings of the small notebook. Doing them felt like a time to do a relaxing activity, which I thanked a lot, and also allowed me to improve my drawing skills, something that I wanted to do for a long time. Therefore, I did this project only with pencils, and using some techniques that appear in the small notebook. I will explain the meaning behind my drawing at the end of the video. So, firstly, I wanted to make a little kid looking at the horizon with his arms extended, which would represent myself. For doing so, I followed some of the instructions of our initial activity from this subject, where we had to make some silhouettes, and I did the basic structure. Once I had done that, I added a jacket that simulated some movement from the wind, which for me looked really good. Finally, I joined all the parts and finished doing the kit. Then it was time to do the rest of the drawing. I started doing a river that connected to a lake, which would have trees around, and also some mountains in the background. This was aligned with my intention of taking important elements from the notebook, as some of these appeared on it, such as these ones. I did them just using lines, as I would add the rest of the details later, but I wanted to check if they looked well before. Then I added more trees in the nearest part of the lake, and also a lot of big rocks, for which I also took inspiration from the small notebook. Here is how the drawing looked after that. Before adding what I was most excited about, I polished some details. For example, I added texture and shadows to the kit, and I also created some reflection on the water, so that it looked more alive. Finally, the most important part of the drawing came, and that was the top of the sky. I wanted to make some eyes looking from above to the little kid, and I wanted them to look very similar to the ones from the small notebook. I also added a notebook in the center, which obviously resembles the small notebook. And here is the final result. I really enjoyed the process a lot, and I'm very proud of how it ended up looking. Now I will explain the meaning behind it. As I said, doing those weekly drawings in my notebook is something I appreciated a lot during this course, as it was a good time for me where I could improve my drawing skills. Thus, I decided to do my final project taking inspiration from them. This can be seen all throughout the drawing. For example, the trees that are near the lake and look similar to these ones, the rods that combines the design from these ones, and the use of perspective from these, the shadows and lines used in the kit that resemble the ones from these bottles and jars, and of course the eyes looking from the sky, for which I took inspiration from this. Now, the meaning behind the drawing is that the kit represents myself, and I'm looking at a beautiful landscape, which has everything that I would learn in the future. From the river to the eyes that look at us from above, I tried to combine some of the elements learned during this course in a single piece, in order to show their real importance. So that's all. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have enjoyed my final piece.